right. In just 10 days, Heather, Congress is scheduled to recess for the summer, and lawmakers are still at odds over a budget deal. One plan floating around Washington is called the Cut, Cap, and Balance Pledge. Now, what's that all about? It's about tackling debt on your screen, $14.4 trillion in debt. New Jersey Republican Scott Garrett's vice chairman of the House Budget Committee. And, sir, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome here to America's Newsroom. Cut, Cap, and Balance. In summary, it does the following. It cuts spending across the board. It caps government spending. And it includes a balanced budget amendment. You favor this?
I do. Actually, I was one who helped craft that for the RSC, the Republican Study Committee, as our approach to trying to deal with the issue of the upcoming debt limit, because many members of Congress don't want to raise it at all. And the question is, well, if we do raise it, what do we want to get back from this administration? What do we want to do and actually to try to rein in spending over the short term, middle term, and long term?
All right, I want to take each point one by one. Okay. I want to get some numbers from you. I want to get an idea on this massive budget that we have here. And the huge hole that we have to deal with, how we can trim it down. Cut spending. What's acceptable to you?
Well, in our original proposal on this is we need to basically cut the deficit in half in the only year that we actually control in the budget cycle, which is 2012. So that's cutting over $300 billion up to $380 billion in cutting out of the 2012 budget. So we can do that right now. That's step one.
380 billion, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Now cap government spending.
What's that?
How would you do that and explain like where Washington would be cut off?
So what you do there is try to implement what we tried in past years called things like Graham-Rudman sort of caps on spending going forward. Try to do it in a better way that addresses like emergency spending and all the loopholes that they've had in the past. And there's a couple bills that do it. So what it does in law, in statute, it says going forward you will have limits on how much you can spend each year. It's a cap, Graham-Rudman type thing.
Okay, now what is the possibility of getting those first two done before I get to number three, which is
number three? Yeah, which is the big one. Well, I think they will have to be done if we really want to be serious about addressing the fiscal problems that we're having right now. Everything that's coming out so far out of Washington is just going around the edges. You know, Vice President Biden's coming in and says, well, what we need to do is go in the other direction, raise taxes, increase investment. It's an area which is another way of saying increase spending and more regulation. That's the wrong approach. That's the failed approach. We have to go in and deal with entitlements, discretionary spending, and really bring down the size and spending level of government.
Now, this third item is the balanced budget amendment. I know some Republicans, perhaps several Republicans, support this. It is a tall hill to climb, though. I mean, do you get a sense now that Democrats are willing to support this also? Because you would need their help to get it done.
Yeah, we'll need their help. We'll need the help from the American people, actually, to put pressure on the Democrats, both in the House and the Senate, to realize that, look, you can do things short-term, 2012. You can do things mid-term over the next several years. But if you really want to send a message to the marketplace that we're serious about this, you have to say we're going to change the way we operate. And the only way that you can totally, truly constrain and control Congress is through the Constitution, and that's why you need a balanced budget amendment.
Otherwise, Washington is going to find a way to get back in your pocket somewhere and
they
spend
always
more
do.
money. Ron Johnson is a rookie senator out of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And he says President Obama is phoning it in when it comes to the debt and the budget matter. Now, Marco Rubio is a rookie senator from Florida also, and he says Senate Democrats haven't bothered to pass a budget of their own in more than 2 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, is this becoming strictly a partisan battle, or do you believe what the Vice President is doing behind closed doors will give America hope that we can cut our cost?
Well, I'm always trying to be optimistic, and I always want to have hope. But so far, the rhetoric, at least, the public pronouncements, what the Vice President is doing, as I said before, don't go in the right direction. It doesn't go where the American public is. The American public, in a bipartisan approach, if you look in the polling numbers on this as far as the debt limit is concerned, it's not D or R, it's not a Democrat or Republican issue. The vast majority of them are saying don't raise the debt limit at all because they know we just can't keep on using that credit card. They want us to rein in spending.
Do you agree with Senator Johnson when he says the White House is phoning it in?
Well, I agree to the extent that the President certainly hasn't been engaged. I was at the White House, 2.5 weeks ago, and we asked the President point blank, you know, where are you on your proposals? Where are you on your specifics? And he said, well, I'm sort of deferring to Vice President Biden on that.
You're saying he was not engaged in that conversation?
He was not engaged. He sort of, as he's done on a lot of other areas, punted it off to someone else. But we are at such a crucial point, at a profound point in our economic situation in this country. The president has got to be not only engaged, he has to tell us what's his plan. As you already pointed out, they haven't passed a budget in a couple of years now. They haven't come back with a specific game plan as to where they could see us getting the kind of economy back in a budget situation. So what's his plan?
Thank you for coming in today, okay?
Thanks a lot.
We all wait to
Appreciate it.
see where this thing goes, huh?